The first day of G20 summit was successfully held in Apurva Kempinski Hotel Nusa Dua, Bali on the 15th of November 2022. President Jokowi welcomed the first delegation, which was leaders of international institutions or organizations and heads of non-G20 states delegates. After greeting all the delegates and guests, President Jokowi then posed for a photo in front of the backdrop installation, which was dominated by red and blue colors with the G20 symbol in the middle. The second day of the G20 summit in Bali was successfully held on Wednesday, the 16th of November 2022. At the beginning of the day, Indonesian President Joko Widodo, accompanied by Minister of Forestry and Environment Siti Nobaya Abu Bakar, invited all the delegates and guests to the Great Forest Park Taman Hutan Raya in Ngurah Rai area, Bandung.
Thank you for your presence here at Garuda Wisnu Kencana. These are our duties to the world and humanity. Thank you.
First Lady Iriana Joko Widodo held a meeting with spouses of the G20 leaders and those of international institutions as part of the G20 Summit series at Sofitel Bali Nusa Dua Beach Resort. Spouses to the country's leaders arrived in succession at the arrival lobby, starting with the spouse to Spanish President Maria Begoña Gómez Fernández, spouse of Turkish President Amina Erdogan, spouse of Japanese Prime Minister Yuko Kishida, spouse to President of the European Commission Heiko von der Leyen, spouse to President of the Republic of Korea Kim Kyung-hee, and spouse to Chinese President Peng Liyuan. After being greeted by Iriana, the country leaders' companions then headed to the waiting room that had been provided. In the waiting room, Deputy Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy Angela Haruliani, Tano Subijo, and expert staff for social, culture and empowerment of Indonesian communities abroad at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Siti Nurgaha Mauludia, accompanied the country's spouses to witness demonstrations of palm leaf, batik and weaving craft. The First Lady affirmed that during the meeting, the spouses were invited to witness up close and experience various types of Indonesian local wisdom, ranging from handicrafts to Indonesian specialties. The First Lady expressed optimism that the spouses of the country's leaders would have an enjoyable time in Bali and would extend their visit to Indonesia. The First Lady then invited the spouses to Sofitel Bali's backyard to see various culture-based activities from several regions in the country, such as Mamanoken, gamelan music, Balinese Rindik music, Gondang Batak music, Marak dance, Toto dance, and also the children playing the game of snakes and ladders. In addition, the spouses to state leaders were invited to witness an exhibition of woven products and several micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMEs) products from various regions in Indonesia. The meeting concluded with a luncheon. First Lady Iriana Joko Widodo met with First Lady of the People's Republic of China, PRC, Madam Peng Liyuan at the Apurva Kempinski Hotel, Bali. Iriana and Peng exchanged souvenirs in the form of traditional music instruments from each country. Peng was welcomed by Iriana as soon as she arrived at the arrival lobby. The two of them then walked down the lobby of the hotel together, accompanied by the strains of Balinese gamelan music. Arriving at the hotel pavilion, Iriana and Peng then did a photo session together. Afterwards, Iriana invited Peng to see a number of typical Balinese handicrafts ranging from endek woven fabrics, gold and silver crafts to wooden carved statues. Iriana and Peng's meetings ended with a tea party which was held in the Kashi room. Indonesia ready to welcome G20 leaders at Bali summit. The Group of 20 G20 is the premier forum for international economic cooperation. It plays an important role in shaping and strengthening global architecture and governance on all major international economic issues. The G20 members represent around 85% of the global GDP, over 75% of the global trade, and about two-thirds of the world's population. Indonesia, while holding the G20 presidency for the first time this year in the G20 forum since being founded in 1999, determines priority agendas and leads meetings of countries constituting 85% of global GDP. With the main theme, Recover Together, Recover Stronger, Indonesia has determined the transition of sustainable energy or green energy as one of the priority issues brought up at the G20 summit. This summit is planned to discuss the energy transition to a low-carbon economy and application of green energy in both developed and developing countries. In Indonesia, one of the ways to realize the application of green energy is by building an electric vehicle ecosystem. President Joko Widodo Jokowi at the launch of the collaborative program for the electric vehicle ecosystem development in Jakarta emphasized that the government continued to pursue energy transformation towards new and renewable energy (EBT), including electric vehicles. The electric vehicle ecosystem will cover upstream to downstream industries, starting from the production of electric motors and their batteries to the provision of battery swapping stations. Jokowi is optimistic that through the development of the electric vehicle ecosystem, Indonesia would be able to become a producer of electric vehicles. In addition, the zero carbon emission target in 2060 can be realized. The government also expressed its openness to establishing collaboration with various countries to encourage the public to use electric vehicles that are viewed as being more environmentally friendly.
Pada mereka mungkin akan dijual atau dilelang, ya terserah mereka mungkin ya, tapi yang jelas mereka sudah menyumbang untuk kita ya dengan minjamkan ini, memperlihatkan komitmen dari kita.
President Joko Widodo was with the glorious President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, inaugurated the Great Mosque of Sheikh Zayed in Solo. The mosque will be a symbol of brotherhood, to be a symbol of friendship between the people of Indonesia and the people of the United Arab Emirates. The President also expressed gratitude for the United States' support for the Indonesia's G20 presidency. He hoped for the flexibility of the United States in discussing the declaration concrete economic cooperation must be strengthened, including through the global partnership infrastructure and investment and the economic Pacific parent. Later in the meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister, Japanese support is important in the success of Indonesia's G20 presidency. He expects Japan's support to expand market access for Indonesian tropical fruits and encourage the completion of strategic infrastructure projects, including the MRT Jakarta. Indonesia is also exploring opportunities for concrete collaboration in Asia-Pacific, including Cooperation Triangular Indonesia-Japan and the Pacific, and meeting with the President of the Commission Europe. The President welcomes the European Commission's support for Indonesia's G20 presidency and encouraged the realization of energy transition cooperation, including the investment plan of the European Investment Bank in Indonesia. The President encourages the progress of the Indonesian negotiations in expressing his concern for trade discrimination in Indonesian products. He invited the European Union to be a partner for peace. And then a meeting with the President of Turkey, the President appreciated contributions. Turkey is in the G20 presidency and appreciates Turkey's vitalizing role back Brescia Green. The initiative must immediately find a peaceful solution to the war in Ukraine and encouraging the strengthening of Indonesia-Turkey economic cooperation, including opening market access for agricultural products and collaboration between the Indonesian and Turkish defense industries. And finally, the meeting with the Prime Minister of Australia. Australia's support is important for Indonesia's G20 perceptions. The summit must produce useful outcomes and encourage the implementation of Indonesia-Australia, including expanding opportunities for Indonesian citizens to working in Australia and also encouraging Australian investment in infrastructure and the energy transition. This will strengthen cooperation during Indonesia's chairmanship in ASEAN 2023, including for the issue of innovation.